What is up? It's Luke with Goo Gaming, and today is a great day for Floowandereeze. I am very excited. I know a lot of people probably are not excited for what is to come in this coming format, but I am very excited. I've been playing this deck for quite a while, and as soon as the Banlist drops, I went to throw in stuff in my deck. I'll go over what's in the deck, all of the cards and card options, and kind of just everything about it, my thoughts about the current deck, and yeah, let's just dive right in. So I'm going to start with the main deck. This should be pretty standard, I think. We got 3 Rabina. So 3 Rabina, 3 Eaglin, 1 Stree. I know a lot of people play 2 Stree, but to cut the amount of cards in the deck, I just play 1. And also, I don't think 2 comes up a lot. A lot of the time, if you draw just Stree in no other birds, it's really hard to play. And then if you draw 2 Stree early game, it's just really bad. So I think that 1 Stree is the way to go, and then 1 Token. Token is really good. Honestly, if I played 2 of one of them, I think I would play 2 Token. Token's really good. Just at recycling all of your spells, your advents, your trap, Dreaming City, just everything. It's really good. And then something that I play that most people don't play is Snow. I've been testing it a lot lately, playing it at locals. I put it at the OTS yesterday, and it is really good. It's working really well for me. So this card is really good in the mirror match, which is gonna be pretty useful now. Not for its effect to flip your opponent's monsters face down, because it can't do that to the mirror match. And not necessarily for the piercing battle damage, but for the 3 extra normal summons. So a lot about the mirror match is advantage, field advantage and hand advantage, and if you have that, you're going to win. And having 3 normal summons when your opponent only has 1 really helps you progress your game state in the mirror match. And I've played quite a few mirror matches with this card. It's surprisingly good. You wouldn't think so, since it only affects special summon monsters with its activated effect, but the normal summons really does help. And also, when you're playing against Sprite, having the ability to flip all of your opponent's monsters face down twice in 1 turn is insane. If Sprite summons 2 monsters, then you can activate Dreaming Town, do your combo, normal summon, tribute summon this on your opponent's turn, flip all of your opponent's monsters face down with Dreaming Town, and then if they summon 2 more monsters, you can do it again. So it's really useful in the Sprite match especially, but it's just really good against pretty much all the decks in the meta except for this one. That effect, and then the normal summon effect is really good against this one. So I just think this is a really good card, really good like utility card, and a really powerful card that a lot of people are sleeping on right now. So if you have not tried it in this deck, I say give it a try. Now we have an Impin. I cut my second Impin for the Snow. I'm just 1 Impin right now. I really like 2 because searching the spells and traps are really useful. Once you search turn 1, you have to recycle Impin to be able to search again if you only play 1. But I think that for my playstyle, it's worth it to just play the Snarl in 1. But there's enough room in this deck where you can probably just play 2 if you'd like to. Then obviously Avion and Ryza. I forgot Ryza's name there for a second. All right, so those are the monsters, or the bird monsters. We got Barrier Statue. Some people are playing 2 Barrier Statue, which I've considered. If I added a card to this deck, I think I would add a second Barrier Statue, just in case you get Dark Ruler no more. You can summon another one on their turn, and that still locks them out of special summoning. So I do like 2 Statue, but I haven't tested it enough to definitively say that it should be in the deck. But for now, we're just playing 1. 1 DD Crow, for obvious reasons. You can search it, and it's really good against the best deck right now. So 1 DD Crow. 3 D Shifter. D Shifter is insane. It's almost an auto win against Tier right now. So 3 of those, and that is all for the monsters. So for the spells, we have 3 Map. Map is really good. It's one of the best cards in the deck. It's insane. It gives you so much advantage. 3 Advent. Advent is, or Adventure, I guess. Adventure is really good. It helps dodge hand traps. It's like fixes your hand if you only draw one bird. It's just a really good overall card. So 3 Advent, 3 Prosperity, 3 Duality. Here's where the ban list comes in. 3-Dimensional Fissure. 3-Dimensional Fissure. I decided to play 3 of this in the main instead of 3 Macrocosmos because this is really good going first and it's pretty good going second. Going first, you activate it first thing and it stops a lot of hand traps. It'll stop like Ogre and Veiler, and I believe it also stops Droll, I believe. I could be wrong about that. It just depends on how the cards are worded. But any hand trap that says you have to discard it to the grave, this stops, so your opponent cannot activate them. It's really good. Also, it's just really good to be able to banish all of your opponent's cards, monsters. This one only banishes monsters, but it's just so good. Tier right now, if you activate this turn 1, it's just neuters their deck. It just really, really hurts them. And that on top of the being able to stop some hand traps and being able to activate this turn 2 and then clear their board, and just they have no recursion after that. So this is really good in my opinion over macro right now. 1 of the continuous spell, 1 terraforming, 1 gold sarcophagus. Some people don't play this. I think this card is very necessary. I think a problem with this deck is consistency, and this card adds guaranteed consistency. So like Upstart Goblin would add consistency because you get to draw another card, but this adds like a guaranteed card. So it's like a search, basically, for the deck. So it's really good. So I'm playing 3 evenly matched. I love this card in this deck. I absolutely love this card in this deck. See, the deck's engine is just really, really good going first. But going second, while you can clear boards and can like pick boards apart, it's a lot harder. So with evenly matched, it just makes your going second a lot better. Without it, you don't really have that. So I'm playing 3 evenly matched, even though you want to go first in this deck. That's in case you're going second. That's really good. 2 Infinite Impermanence because I could only fit 2. Before the ban list, I was playing 40 cards exactly. Now I'm playing 41 because I just really didn't want to cut anything for the 3rd Dimensional Fissure. But I'm playing 2 Infinite Impermanence and then 1 Dreaming Town. That is all for my main deck. I like the main deck lineup a lot. I like playing 40 exactly in this deck, but 41 won't like cut that much consistency, but I just really thought that all the cards in this deck were necessary to have. The only thing that I think would be unnecessary would be the 2 Impermanence, but I just think that makes your going second that much better. I think where this deck struggles the most is going second, and I think that having the evenly matches, and having the shifter really helps your going second, and I think you need that in this deck, especially if you're going to be playing a regional or YCS or some kind of event. I really do think that you need that because you're not going to win every die roll. Okay, so now for the side deck, because the extra deck isn't that necessary. 3 Droll and Lockbird. So this card was necessary before the ban list, and it's definitely necessary now because a lot more people are going to be playing this deck. This just destroys Floowandereeze. If you activate this on their first search, they end their turn, more or less. It's the same thing with the Pendulum deck. So this hits 2 of the like represented decks right now, and it's just good. I mean, it hits Sprite as well. Like, it hits other decks, but it really, really hurts this deck and Pendulum. So 3 of this I think is really necessary. So I'm playing 3 Lightning Storm. I'm playing 3 Lightning Storm right now because it's the only events for the rest of the season are just kind of local events like 3v3s and like win a box events and stuff like that, or at least for the rest of the year. And this is really good at like smaller regionals or events like that. I don't know if I would be playing this if I were going to a YCS. I definitely might be. I would just have to give it a little bit more thought. But at locals and at smaller events like that, this is really good because like you don't know what you're going to see. And this just really hits like a lot of rogue decks and a lot of just decks. Like I put it in yesterday at the OTS. I put it in at against Tier. So I got really lucky, and I drew evenly matched and this, and they made a full board. I evenly matched, then I lightning stormed and cleared their entire board, and then just killed them. So and that's something that Snao will let you do, is actually like get game on board in one turn. Snao is really good for that. So another reason to play that. But lightning storm is really good, especially like I said, smaller events and stuff like that. One Feather Duster. I haven't been playing Feather Duster, surprisingly enough, but I couldn't find like another card that I wanted for my side, except second Trap Trick. But I decided to go with Feather Duster for now. I might change it to a second Trap Trick later though, because I feel like I might like that a little bit better. Call by the Grave. Call by the Grave is really good, but it's not really good in the main deck right now, in my opinion. You just don't, like, impermanence is the main hand trap you're going to see, and this doesn't stop that. What this does stop is Droll. So you're, like, going into game 2, like if you're going first, you should side this in, because your opponent is going to side in Droll. And this really hurts Droll. So this is, I think, a necessary side card, but I don't think it's necessarily a necessary main deck card. So really good though. It's also really good to put in against Tier, just at any point pretty much, because you can just snipe cards out of their grave. It's kind of like a DD Crow, and it's also pretty good. Okay, so Banlist again. 3 Macrocosmos. So this card is insane, but I played this in the side deck instead of the main because it is really, really good going first. But going second, it's a dead card in your hand. Going second, you can't activate it like you can D-Fisher and pick your opponent's board apart. You just can't activate it. You have to set it and wait till your opponent's next turn, which is a little too slow right now. If you only have space for one or the other in your main, I think it's a little too slow for this to be the one that you pick. I do think it is a very necessary side deck card. It destroys Tier. It destroys a lot of things, honestly. Like if you activate this against Sprite, it hurts them a lot. They need recursion. Like that's something about Sprite. If you can clear their initial board and you have macro on the field, they don't win. Like it's just how it is, because they need recursion. And a lot of decks are like that. A lot of decks use their grave. Macro is very necessary, and since it's at 3, I mean, it's just, why wouldn't you play it? It's really, really good. The last thing is Harpy's Featherstorm. Harpy's Featherstorm is insane. It's an auto win. If you activate it turn 1, it's just an auto win. It's self-explanatory. It's a really good card. And then Trap Trick. I'm playing 1 Trap Trick. I only have 1. I've been playing 2. And I might play this over the Feather Duster in the future, but we'll see how that goes. But 1 to 2 Trap Trick is really good. It's just more Feather Storms, and you really want to see that if you're going first. The way I like to build side decks is, like, I like to have a kind of even split of going first and going second cards. So these cards are going second cards. So if you're going second, these will be cards that you're siding in. So there's 7 of them. And these cards, if you're going first, these will be cards that you're siding in that are going to hurt your opponent when you go first. And so I like to have a pretty even split. And then this, I put this to the side because it is a going first or going second card. It's really useful going first, but then also going second in certain situations, like against Tier, they play on your turn. They fuse on your turn. So it'll be pretty good going second, just to snipe something out of their grave on your turn. So I put that in the middle, but pretty even split of cards for going first and going second. So that's it for the side deck. I'm not going to spend too much time on the extra deck because it's just, you don't use it. But it's worth mentioning a few things. So I just banished these off of Prosperity. I just pretty much play pretty things that I like, but there are some useful things. So I was playing Ultimate Slayer in this deck, which Ultimate Slayer is really good, and if I was going to a big event, I might be playing Ultimate Slayer over Lightning Storm. I actually probably would be playing Ultimate Slayer over Lightning Storm. But Natis, really good to play with Ultimate Slayer, because if you send it off Ultimate Slayer, you get to pop another of your opponent's cards. Or if you're hand bricked and you have Ultimate Slayer, you can send Garura, draw a card, and get rid of one of your opponent's problems. So these two are really good for that. Link Rainbow also good for that. Also good for the Ultimate Slayer. Dark, like you can make Dark. I've never made it, but you definitely can, and that could help in certain situations. Like a lot of the extra deck is just in case there's a really weird situation come up, you know, Phoenix. And then these are the only cards that I would say you actually could make reasonably, like with a decent conscience, because sometimes it's that bad. Like sometimes you just, I don't do this ever really, but if your opponent stops your birds on their turn, like let's say they've evenly matched and then main phase 2, you try to summon your birds and they stop it, you don't have a big bird in your hand next turn, you can just overlay into Fujo and go into Zeus. And it's something that can come up. So this is the only thing in the extra deck that I think, like, you know, you probably should play. Just in case, because I feel like it's a little bit necessary. But everything else I think is just preference and, you know, just stuff for Ultimate Slayer or something like that if you decide to play it. That is it for the deck profile, for the deck list. I hope you all liked it, and tell me in the comments what you think about this deck. Like, I think that this deck is going to be very represented now. I think that this deck is going to be insane. It was really, really good already, in my opinion. Especially being the direct counter to the best deck right now, which is Tyr. But now that we have 3 D-Fisher and 3 Macrocosmos, it's going to be crazy. Before I go, I do want to mention a couple of side deck cards that I thought about. So I thought about playing 3 Metaverse and then a, whatever this is, Necro Valley. So that against Tyr or against a lot of things, to be honest, you can... Like, let's say they activate an elf. Sprite activates an elf. Metaverse, activate Necro Valley, and they can't move it from the grave. Tyr just doesn't do anything under Necro Valley. And then also with Metaverse, you can activate your field spell. So, like, let's say if you don't have, Map, you can activate Map, or you can activate this. And I think that's really powerful. So this is a definite option because this is unlimited now. So 3 Metaverse and 1 Necro Valley is something that I'm going to be testing, and just something that I thought I should mention before I end the video. So thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far, thank you so much. Please like, subscribe, and come back for more awesome Yu-Gi-Oh content. Thank you guys.